You're a jerk.
Who's a jerk? What happened? Why are you starting
all these comments about how I'm holding up the show?
I was doing it live. I think Jess is getting to the point. Nope, never mind. He's back at breakfast. How is everybody doing? This is the Uncanny Omar. Today we are doing something I'm excited to talk about, and that is collected editions that are coming out in 2025 that we are most excited for. With me, as always, is Garth. Nope, just kidding. With me is Tik Tok Tina.
Hey guys.
Who doesn't really do these kind of shows, but I needed some youth here.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Well, no, that's why I got Dom.
Oh,
and then I needed some manga, which is why I got you. And then these two guys here represent a different
I can channel Melanie, and
category. But
Yeah,
anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves. This is Tik Tok Tina. Who are you? What do you do?
I run basically your TikTok channel. I come over and I just kind of exist in Omar's basement. I act like this is my library. I'm going to borrow some stuff from him after I leave.
We are matching.
Yeah, you are
Totally on accident.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And to my right is Dom of X. Who are you, sir?
Hopefully my microphone is all good and running today, because for the last two streams, StreamYard has been off because of my computer. But nonetheless, I'm Dom of X. I am the manager of this channel, and I have hoped to create this wonderful PowerPoint where we get to talk about all the books we're excited for. I'm also the assistant editor of comicreleases.com, where you can also find all the books that we are going to be talking about at some point today. And of course, I do my own content at Deluxe, where I recently talked about news on the Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo Nightwing Omnibus Volume 1. So if you want to check that out, there is the links for that. Thank you.
You sound good, Dom. And right below Tina and I is
Yes.
none other than the Norwegian Assassin. How are you, sir?
Good. Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press, formerly of Wizard Magazine. And I'm looking forward to tonight's show because, it's really just, we have no exclusives, we have no scoops. It's just this unvarnished view of just us getting ready for the feeding frenzy of this year of books we hope to buy. We're salivating like coyotes at the feast. Very exciting. So I'm looking forward to being here. And everyone remember, even though it's never said, I'm the pretty one.
There is a reason why that's never said. And to his right is the adorable Omni Dog. I can't believe I said that. How are you, my friend?
I'm adorable as usual. Thank you for having me on. I am Omni Dog from Omni Dog's Vault on YouTube and other assorted places on social media.
James,
Thank
oh,
you.
there you go. I was like, James.
Thank you.
James must be watching 3 other shows right now because he was slacking a little bit. Usually he's ready. And that is a killer sweatshirt, Jess.
It is. It is.
That is right. So I do this type of video every year, the first day of the year, like on January 1st, usually is when I limit myself to 30 books that I'm super excited for. And there's a lot. This time around, what I did was ask and by the way, Curtis will be joining us a little bit later, ask my co-host to only pick 5 books they're excited about.
Okay.
That's tough.
And it was tough. That's hard. Breaking it down to top 25, and then you have only 5 you're excited for. But I wanted to talk about things in detail and why they're excited about things like these books. So that's why I said 5. And without going any further, please don't forget to smash that like button. Omar's about to announce Phoenix Volume 1. Coming to Patreon tonight. No more Phoenix. You guys made a Phoenix
What if
Volume.
the book has Phoenix in it? So there, it'll never escape you.
Dude, when I was announcing that Phoenix Volume 3, all I thought about was Oddfell and Lars and Peter and the nightmare they have cost me. And I can't.
You made an imprint on people already with the announcement.
It, man.
They live in your dreams.
It's a part of my life now, apparently.
That was the greatest evergreen ever.
Feels like 2025 is the year of DC and Image for me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They're firing on all cylinders, man. They are firing on all cylinders. And there's still something that is coming that I have not announced. And I don't know if I'll get to announce it, but even if I don't, oh my gosh, all I have to say is
you guys will be rocked. Like,
it's gonna be awesome.
You'll get your rocks, world rocked, however that works.
Give me that X-Men Red OHC. Honestly, I think it would be an X-Men by Al Ewing omnibus.
Wait, which X-Men Red? Because there's 2.
Right.
Oh, it's Tom.
I assume they mean the Krakoa one, but
No.
I know a lot of people who love that Taylor series.
The Taylor
I
series
love it,
man.
I love that Tom Taylor X-Men Red.
Yeah. So, all right, but let's find out what these fools are excited for.
well, yeah, and just quickly,
Right.
I noticed in the comments people are already saying how much their wallets are weeping, and it's true. You know, I've said before, I have a friend in town. He's one of your Patreons, Omar. You know, he gives you money, you know, willingly every month. He doesn't watch the show because he says it costs him too much money. And then I come out for coffee with him, and he comes in because he's watched the show anyway, and he goes, "You cost me $25." You cost me $50. And then one time he came in and he said, "You cost me $200." I'm like, well, you know,
You pay for his coffee at least.
Oh, silence.
Do they not? Maybe they don't drink coffee.
Lars.
I will from now on. I will
Okay.
from now on.
So I'm going to go ahead and share this wonderful slideshow that was made by manager of Near Mint Condition, Dom of X.
Yay.
Let me get rid of the thumbnail here, or not the thumbnail. I'm sorry, the little asset. There we go, because that's redundant. So yeah, 2025. What are we most excited for? So up first is this fool with this Superman family, the giant turtle. This can only be Jess.
I was
or
gonna say, which fool is this? But then I saw the books in question. I'm like, oh, it's not-
Am I up first?
You're up first, buddy. Tell me what you're most excited for.
Well, I've heard nothing but good things about this. I don't know anything about it. This Doom book by Jonathan Hickman. It sold out immediately when it came out, and now they're releasing it in Treasury Edition. So I just really, really want to read it. I can't really say anything more about it. Other than I heard it was great.
It's got Sanford Green on artwork too.
Oh, okay.
Have you read Bitter Root?
Bitterroot, right. Second one. During your DC Most Wanted poll, I always say where are my Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Omnis, and Sugar and Spike. And I realize now, after seeing this, that this is a DC Finest book. And I realized that this is probably, not only am I going to get my Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane through the DC Finest, that's probably how I'm only going to get to see in my lifetime, because the Silver Age omnibuses are taking way too long from DC, the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil Batman. I'm guessing that's going to come out first in DC Finest before it ever comes out in a Silver Age omnibus. So
you're playing it safe.
So I'm excited. I don't recommend these stories to anyone but me. They're super goofy and written right for 8-year-olds, and that's okay. That's when I was reading these, because Jimmy Olsen turned into like Turtle Man, as you can see there, and Elastalad and Werewolf Boy, and I don't know. It was Nightbird. Well, he was Nightwing and Flamebird or whatever.
Selling me on this.
I mean, Jimmy looks unhinged in this.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
look. That's his look.
it's true because turtles have eyes exactly like that.
A text from Omar cost me $140.
A lot of money.
All I
That's a good
asked you to
service
do
to have.
was, could you research what the difference between these two? It wasn't even about books. It was about 4Ks. That's it. It was nothing to do with books.
Oh, nice. The next book is the Neil Adams DC Artists Classics, oversized original art that I've always wanted to see. I don't need to repeat myself. Everybody's heard me say that I don't like. Okay, I will repeat myself. I don't like the inking and recoloring in the Batman by Neil Adams omnibus. But this is, I still love his art, and so I assume it's going to be the black and white originals in this, and that's going to be gorgeous for Green Lantern and Batman and a bunch of other characters that he did, and covers and stuff. Whatever. I'm excited for this book. Strange Academy omnibus. I think that's great. It's a huge upgrade to the digest size books I have. I really, really love this series. Great art and just a wonderful story by Scotty Young. And I I would really love someday to somehow see this not animated, but if they could figure out a way to do this like a live action Disney Plus show or something. I would love to see all these crazy great kid characters brought to life, but I'd settle for an animated show. I just really dug this story. And The Authority Volume 2 is The Authority post the original Omnibus with Ellis and Miller is badly collected in, besides the Brubaker book and a couple other books.
Agreed.
There's a lot that's not collected properly, and so I'm interested in seeing the rest of the Authority story. I love the characters, and I did like the Brubaker book a lot, so I'd really like to see, even if the stories are middling or something, I just want it all completed, and so I can read it for myself.
This is the best comment. Thank you for noticing. Can we take the comic covers and text off the screen and just leave the background image? Thanks. No, thank you for the super chat. So this Authority has the stuff from Revolution and the Team Achilles, but it doesn't have issue number 3. And is that because of the crossover?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a Jim Lee cover, isn't it?
No, that's
It looks like Lee. Oh, you know, it could be Philip Tan too.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah. Now this is Graffiti, right? Just the Neil Adams classics.
I actually don't know that. Is Graffiti still in business?
Yeah, Graffiti Art Book says. Yeah, they're the ones that did the Killing Joke just recently. They came out.
Oh,
late
okay.
last year. But is it ID? Well, no, it might be IDW.
Well, if it's artist edition, I assume it's IDW.
Yeah, if it's it's $150. Graffiti usually charges $225. Oh, look at that! Thank you, Bruce. Strange
Yay.
Academy TV show is rumored 2026. With or without magic as a teacher.
Oh,
That's
she
the
has
question.
to be the teacher.
You're right, Omar.
It's IDW. Yeah,
What's that?
it's
You're right.
IDW. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's
on
looking
both.
for a specific word. Don't give it to him.
No, Dom, what did you say, Dom? Everybody.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, yeah, it is Jim Lee.
No,
You were
what
right
was
on
the first thing you said, Dom?
You were right on the strange something IDW.
That's
whatever
all.
it was.
You don't need to. That's good.
You were right. You were right.
That's good. That's all I need sometimes. That's all a man needs sometimes.
Yeah, I'm with
Tina.
him.
No,
That's all we need to hear sometimes.
absolutely not.
All right. This must be Lars' picks.
This is just his other list. Yeah.
Wait, can I,
No, this is yours list, right?
Actually, I agree with a couple of these.
Right. Well, yeah. Because I was like, man, this is hard. I have to narrow it down. We've got some great manga coming out, and I did pick a lot of re-releases, I will say. So let me talk about something that is new to the American audience, which is Veil. This is something that I came across actually on TikTok, of all things, just little snippets where you see little
I'm on
snippets
there.
of manga. Yeah, you're on there.
I'm on TikTok.
And I just was getting little bits and pieces of it. So it's this cop that randomly meets this runaway Harris, and she has like a vision disorder. And it's just a nice slice of life. Everything that I have seen from this manga is beautiful. And if you like slice of life, you're going to really enjoy this one. I'm excited to get my teeth on this one. Originally, it was announced, I think, back in 2024 or 2023 as a hardcover. We're not going to get a hardcover. We're just going to get a soft cover release. This is by, I think, what was it?
Udon is releasing this one.
So Udon is actually releasing this. So I'm super, super excited to get something new. My next, best thing out there for re-release is going to be Pet Shop of Horrors. So this came out when I was younger. We're not going to say how long ago was it.
21. Oh my God, no, 26 years.
Was it 26
1990?
years ago?
Like Tokyo Pop started publishing those in 1998, 1999. Yeah. Yeah, now we feel old, right?
Yeah, we feel old.
How did that happen? Wow.
So it went out of print. Tokyo Pop had the license for it. It went out of print. It got hard to get your hands on. We're actually getting a revision. I guess it's a retranslation of Pet Shop of Horrors. So that's kind of nice. If you like kind of a more well adapted version of this, and that's an omnibus format.
Yeah, so there's also in this one it's like they're doing the translations.
They're redoing the translation,
which is good, right? Because a lot of those Tokyo Pop translations were very Americanized.
They were Americanized. Like you had a lot of like Georges or Bobs in there, and you're like, that's not his name.
And this is, you're asking, there was an anime, there was a OVA. Was it 3 OVAs, I think?
Oh,
I can't remember how many. We didn't get that many in America, but I bet Jess Omnidog could tell you.
Oh, sure. What are we talking about?
What's Rosen Maiden?
Rosen Maiden. Probably not up your guys' alley, but it's right up my alley. So it is about, I mean, it's kind of a battle-esque. It's a josei, sort of like shoujo. It does have some like elements of fighting. So this guy gets bullied by his classmates. He decides that he's just going to stop school, go home, and basically live a life of loneliness. And he gets shipped a doll of all things. But it's not just like a porcelain doll, guys. It's a fighting doll. So she basically comes alive. It's kind of like a fighting manga. She comes alive and she basically says, "You're my servant now." I read the first 5 volumes when this first came out. And this was also a Tokyo Pop, I believe, release.
Yep.
So it's nice that we are getting this and the sequel to it. So we're getting 7 volumes of the original and the 10 sequels to it in like I think it's 7 editions, which is like 400 pages each. Which
is this a hardcover?
I think this one is a hardcover.
Ooh.
There are a couple of hardcovers coming out. Let me double check.
Well, I know Planeta is a hardcover.
So that's a hardcover. I want to say yes, this is a hardcover. So Planets is Belle was originally going to be, but it's not. Pet Shop of Horrors is
who's
not.
Publishing it? $25.99.
This is 7 Seas. 7 Seas has actually been really killing it.
No,
They've got Pet Shop of Horrors, Kingdom, Rosa Maiden. So they're coming out with some stellar titles.
Thank you, John, for the super chat. Welcome to Petty Mint Condition, where Omar forces folks to say, I didn't force. Force is a strong word. I just asked him to repeat himself because I'm hard of hearing.
You let him do that.
Maybe. Folks to say that he's correct. Also, we're petty viewers force Omar to read things like this out loud. That is also true. I've read some of the stupidest things out loud because of somebody super chatted me. Okay. Climber. I recognize that name.
Right.
Shinichi Sakamoto.
Right. Who did Innocent.
Yeah, that stuff is gorgeous, man.
Gorgeous artwork. Not for kids though. Climber is his original debut series. And I hope the art, like I haven't looked at much of anything. I just know it is about a man's decision to climb K2. So his journey in his depression and loneliness to look towards a dream and to achieve a dream in that. And like, I love climbing disasters. I will say this is right up my alley. You gave it a look. You're like, what?
Like climbing disasters?
It is a bit niche, isn't it?
It's very niche. It is very niche. So it's kind of like, it strikes my interest on like climbing disasters like Everest, K2. Like these are horrible places you don't necessarily want to go to if you're unprepared. So it kind of is a slice of life. I think it's a sign-in.
He also did the hashtag Dracula, that book?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that stuff is awesome. So this is based on a novel, right?
No, so this is the, I guess it was adapted. Like he did the art. He also did some of the, I guess, storyboard of this. But it is loosely based on a Japanese climber who attempted the K2 summit.
K9. That's a character from Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's not climber.
The only climbing story I like is the Monty Python's Flying Circus, where they go and look for the previous expedition. And you don't remember that one?
Yeah.
That skin is brilliant, man.
It's good to specialize, but yeah, it is a bit narrow because I'm now imagining, would you like to read this book on Pompeii? It's like, well, no one was climbing when Pompeii happened. It's the wrong,
That's exactly-
wrong kind of disaster.
That does nothing for her.
No,
Natural
yeah, it doesn't
disasters
do a
not so
thing
much.
for me.
I
Yeah.
love natural disasters. Okay, like I have two modes: sparkly and pink, or
What?
absolutely nightmare. You do not want to give this to your worst enemy.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah,
That's
what
my
the hell does it mean?
Yes. It's because of the implication. Oh yeah, I remember my grandfather telling me stories.
Thank you.
About,
Hey,
ouch,
hey,
buddy,
That's
ouch,
great.
ouch,
Take it easy,
great.
pal.
Wow, Aria.
Drive the stiletto in a little deeper, why don't you?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I'm also excited for. That was just announced this
Yesterday.
I think this week, right? It came
Yesterday.
This is one that I've known about, but I've been keeping my mouth shut. And there's another deluxe edition that will be coming out. I think they might announce it sometime next week. But yeah, they're not done with deluxe editions.
No,
They have found out that there is a market and people are buying them, and I love it.
And I really do enjoy Dark Horse. Like their deluxe editions are really nice.
But this is, I think there's going to be 2 volumes because the 2 Omnis that they came out with were 2 volumes. So I assume there's going to be 2 of those. Do any of these interest you at all, Omni Dog?
Planets. Riley talked at length about it last night on our show, and the way he described it and the gorgeous art and stuff, he actually did get me interested in that particular book. I recognize it, and he was like vibrating from excitement. He was just so
This
pumped
is really
up for
exciting. It feels like to be honest, it feels like it is something that could happen now or really soon in the future because we have so much space debris and stuff like that. Like it feels like something like, what is it, like the disaster of capitalism in space.
So there's another
that's good.
niche that you like.
This is a lot more profound than I thought.
It's the same. It's the same mangaka that did Vinland Saga.
Yeah, so it like if you're familiar with Vinland Saga, you liked it. This is a sci-fi like take on like space junk, but with people, their lives, their failures, their attempts to make something of themselves. Like it's a whole diaspora of life built under this like sci-fi model.
The subhead, it seems, should be the fall of space junk and capitalism.
And I wish it was the fall. Of
We are
capitalism.
climbing. That's why she likes it. We're climbing to space.
Yes, the one goes up, the other goes down.
What's your favorite omnibus coming out that you haven't announced yet? Let me see.
Oh, trying to be tricky.
Uh,
Trying to get you to violate that NDA.
I can say that it will. There's one that I have been kind of helping. I've been helping along the way, and it's really cool to see some of the things that are happening behind the scenes.
Are you doing the art?
you mapping?
No. Well, one of them there was a
Help
phone
mapping
call
it?
about how we need something mapped
Oh, did I
specifically.
walk into that phone call?
You did, but you don't know
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I have no thoughts.
And the other one, if it doesn't happen, if it does, God, no. You could see my soul leaving my body when I was announcing that book. But look, dude, here's the thing. It doesn't matter like what I think. People, based on the likes and the like, how many views that video got,
Yeah.
it's all
I'm going to be buying it day one.
Bendis,
You already
man.
heard it from
It'll sell
me.
good. It'll sell good.
Seriously, like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what I think. I'm like how much I don't like that era, and I know Jess loves it, but there's a lot of people.
like
There's
it.
a lot more people like Jess out there than me when it comes to the Bendis era.
Phew.
Seriously,
I
and
li-
that's
I like
cool.
it too.
That's
Yeah.
cool. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, my day is just to announce things, whether it's Marvel September 1967 or New Warriors Volume 5 or
New Warriors Volume 8, the trilogy ends.
X-Men or whatever. X-Men 4, I'm super there are some books, of course, I'm super excited for. The Ben Omnibus thing, man, you all have no idea how cool that was for that to happen. The Agent Ben Omnibus.
Actually,
How fast forward, like how fast they made it happen after a phone call. It was amazing. Yes, Tom?
no, nothing.
No, you said actually.
No, that's okay.
Can't say anything.
Would you forget, Dom?
No, nothing.
Okay.
But you were right.
Thank you,
Say
Dom.
that, man.
Don't tell him what to do, Tina.
You're just inflating that ego, Dom. Don't do that.
We'll come back to this one because that is Curtis right there. So I'm gonna go to this one here, and this looks like Lars. Let me read this ridiculous nonsense right here. Jimmy Olsen is the first.
You tell him, Harvey.
Dog. All right.
On.
Now this is something I'm happy to read. New Warriors Forever. That's right, baby. New Warriors Forever. Lars, tell me what your level of excitement is for each of these books.
Very high, although, my day was so busy, and you decided first, no, we don't need picks, and then suddenly you decided we do need picks, and so
I wasn't talking to you. There are things happening behind the scenes, Lars.
And I just spit these out in a hurry when I was between crises, and so this is like a raw, naked, unadulterated state here. Okay, it's just the first thing that came.
Raw dog your list,
raw, naked,
but my
Wow,
first
what?
impulse is always correct, so it's okay. Okay. First of all, I am looking forward to the Fall of House of X, Rise of Powers of X Omnibus, because so I've been collecting the deluxe editions of Krakoa, and so for me, this kind of like, I would say, finishes off every bit of Krakoa that I need, but between the deluxe editions and then some supplemental trade paperbacks, I'm pretty set. Now, we'll see if the day ever comes that they start launching them all on omnibuses, then I'll reevaluate. But yeah, this was a really important end to a very important era. The Krakoa era was something like, I was reading it as it came out every Wednesday. My God, I don't do that normally. But it was just so exciting, and the quality was so high that, I'm thrilled to see this one. Doctor Strange by Jed MacKay. It is really saying something about Jed MacKay. They're like, I normally don't care anything about Doctor Strange.
Really?
Not really.
I glanced at your list. I thought you were looking at the Master of the Mystic Arts. You're going with the new stuff.
Oh yeah, certainly. I have the Chris Pochulo run.
Look who just woke up late and missed your list of all the weed crap that you brought.
That's okay.
He's like, I walk in here, nothing but
Josh.
X-Men and DC. You missed Tina's list. Rewind, Josh. Go ahead, Lars.
I don't collect much Doctor Strange. I really don't. And then there's something about Jed MacKay's run that, like, you got to have that next hit. You got to have that next hit. You got to have that next hit. And every issue, I was like, oh man, this will be pretty great. He really builds on, I think the relationship between Strange and Clea works better than almost ever, because, like, they are married. It's sort of a co-lead book, sort of. And it works really, really well. So yeah, I would gladly buy this. Marvel Fanfare. Well, the great shock is that there's a lot of it I haven't read. Because it, when I was young, Lars, I couldn't get to the comic book store, and Marvel Fanfare was direct market only, so there was crap tons of it. I never just found the time to go back and experience them. I've read the X-Men issues, I've read the Black Widow stories, I've read various issues here and there, but I've not read them beginning to end. And then when they announced that this thing was coming out, I went to my Marvel Unlimited and I started reading some. I was like, oh, this is actually really good. I think I'm going to pre-order it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it cover to cover and hoping it's as great as I expect it to be.
Yeah. Now, people are probably wondering why. I think when I announced it, I may have mentioned it, but yeah, these didn't have like ads. These were prestige books that were, I guess some of them were 32 pages, Lars?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's exactly what you weren't getting, like 22 pages with ads. That's why there's only 19 issues. Some of it will be double dipping in some omnis, like the Uncanny X-Men omnis.
It will, but not a huge.
Some obscure crap that I don't even know where they would put it. Like adaptations of like literature, right?
Correct. And I own the X-Men stuff, but I don't own like the Black Widow stuff, even though it's been collected elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think the double dipping for a lot of people is going to be pretty small. Very, very excited for that one. Dr. Fate. Goodness me. That's another one that, like, I don't pretend to be a Dr. Fate fan. Is anybody really a Dr. Fate fan? But this run, Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMatteis, excuse me. Art by Sean, what's his name? McManus.
Oh yeah.
Give me a
Mhm.
minute. I mean, it was a compelling series. It was a compelling series where things got weird even by Dr. Fate's standards. Because I mean, spoilers, but the idea is that Kent Nelson has died. Naboo's mind is in Kent Nelson's dead body, and there's a new Dr. Fate. One of whom, if memory serves, he was a child. Well, excuse me, a near adolescent who was hyper evolved to become an adult. Because
Whoa.
I think,
Warren, of course, likes Dr. Fate.
yeah,
He actually likes something.
yeah, it is a weird, compelling run with some very strange art. It's delightful, and that they would even release this. Now, I think the run after this is garbage, frankly. I started reading the stuff that followed when Dave Mateus left, and I was like, whoa, this is bad.
How do you feel about Doctor Strange Fate?
Oh,
The amalgam universe.
I can't stand Malcolm. I think Malcolm's terrible.
Distancing from the amalgam.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
yes.
Lars, you got Doctor Strange and Doctor Fate here. How does that not give you goosebumps? And
I know, but sometimes you don't like to mix them together, you know.
fine, you
Yeah,
like
no,
to keep your doctors separate. Got it.
and
Your proctologist and your dentist in the same party. Got it.
God, yes, exactly right. No, so I mean that they're even doing this because it's not been collected. There's a lot of stuff out there we want to get collected, and this will tick a box nicely. And then just wrap things up. X Factor Omnibus Volume 4, which just concludes Peter David's just smashing run of X Factor. I even liked all new X Factor. I think the follow-up series was actually a bit underrated. So yeah, just an automatic buy for me. Just a terrific series.
Oh, and the fact that they're adding X-Men Legends in there 5 and 6 just makes me so happy because that is
Yes.
everything.
Those were quite funny, actually. Now, yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I just kind of shotgunned out a bunch of Marvel and DC. Of course, those of you know back in the day when Superman and Batman wore their underwear outside their pants, people who like mainstream comics were called underwear perverts. So this is probably a list for the underwear perverts.
You know what,
I've
Lars? From
never
now
heard
on,
that
that is
term
your
ever.
that's your new headline. Like
Absolutely, I've never heard that.
yeah, that is your new headline. As a
You'll
matter of fact,
make
I'm
that up.
gonna change that for you.
Please
Underwear.
don't. Someone's asking, has Peter David's health improved? Been a while since he has updated. Yeah, that's a very good question.
You know, my
I don't know.
mother-in-law is actually the one that has been keeping me up with that. She donates to him I think it's every month.
Oh,
Like ever since she heard about it, and she just likes his writing and
Yeah.
needs the help. Underwear perverts enjoy panty raids. Yeah, have you heard of Hapasai from Ranma?
No.
Too much.
The one, of course, I nearly put on here was there's also spectacular. No,
Just wait, Lars. You're not going to get a number 6 in there. Just wait a second. If we have enough time,
Peter David Spider-Man Omnibus. Yes.
but if we have enough time, we got to go through Curtis's
Curtis,
list.
welcome.
Curtis, how's it going, buddy?
Hello, everybody. Hold on a sec.
It's okay. Take your time. We're just live.
Yeah.
Are you transmitting from some secret location to establish an alibi?
Yes, just my living room. That's all.
Okay.
Nice to see you, everybody. Hello. Who's on here? Jess and Dom and Lars and Omar and Tina. I've never been on a live stream with you before, so nice to meet you.
yeah.
That's my buddy Curtis.
Okay.
He's Canadian. So
I can
watch
read.
what you say.
Okay.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Curtis, how are you, and what are you most excited for? Wow, this and Lars' list really could have gone either way. Like I thought this might have been Lars.
Wait. Yeah, how many people could pass a quiz on like whose picks are these?
Well, there's no epics here, so I thought there's no way in hell this is Curtis.
True.
Well,
Curtis,
I wanted to be unpredictable. I thought that this is an opportunity. I talk about epics so much, and I don't get to talk about other stuff very much. So this is my chance. And so I love comics of all sorts, and not just the superhero stuff. In fact, I prefer to not read the superhero stuff. So this is these 5 books are kind of part of series that have been going on for a while from different publishers, and the Donald Duck series is from a line called the Carl Barks Library that Fantagraphics has been doing for many years now, and this is volume 1. They started with volume 4, and like Epics, we're jumping around from volume to volume, not really in chronological order. And they finally got around to doing number 1. It's coming out later this year. And everybody's been looking forward to this. The reason why they went out of order is just because Carl Barks's earliest stuff wasn't as refined as some of his later stuff. So they wanted to release some of his more strong offerings when they launched the title.
It's very similar to that other line that Marvel did about 11 years ago. They wanted to release. I can't remember.
Can't remember what that one's called.
Remember what that format is called.
Is it on your shelves?
Yes, it's the Epics, Tina. That's exactly what they did with Epics. They took that formula. They were like, we don't release Silver Age stuff. We want these books to sell. Let's release some stuff from like the 80s and things that we've never done before. Yeah, Carl Barks Volume 1 is a huge one for me too, dude. I'm there with you. I've never read any of that stuff unless it's been collected in some kind of collection with the Carl Barks stuff.
I'm gonna guess if you've read any sort of Disney comics over the course of your lifetime, you've probably encountered some of these stories because they've been reprinted so many times in different like Walt Disney's comics and stories and that kind of thing. And so there's definitely some recognizable stories in here. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one like a lot. I think this one's going to be really great.
I'm able to summon Curtis. Exactly. I have that. I have that much pull. Any sense when Marvel will announce the Masterworks schedule for the second half of the year? I'm announcing August and September, and that's all. No, that's all they know so far. I've got the covers, and that will come out sometime. I'm trying to decide when that will come out because it's like right around the corner that the catalog is here. I think in March, right, Dom?
Yeah, like late February, early March is when the catalog will drop.
Then I need to shoot a reminder. But and the crazy thing is, they picked out the books. This is how fast they have to work, and Curtis knows this because they're just working on Omnis right now. They haven't even talked about Epics yet. They do have a list of Epics, so they're gonna reshuffle around just to give me the final list. The Omnis, I actually have the list, but I don't have the content nor the covers to do the videos. So they don't even have they haven't decided the content yet of the books. So here's hoping that we get those stuff.
I do enjoy, by the way, how Donald appears to be bathing in gold. What is it about between him and Uncle Scrooge? What is it about the Duck family that they are always showering themselves in precious money? I mean, this must be how they get so many dates. They go to ask a slinky female duck if they'll go out with them. It's like, what is that alluring smell about you? It's like, oh, that's the smell of money.
Plus, dude, the guy doesn't wear pants.
He doesn't wear pants.
Of course he's going to pick up.
He is the opposite of an underwear pervert.
Yes.
He is a non-underwear pervert.
Well, one of the hallmarks of Carl Barks storytelling is adventure seeking in the Indiana Jones kind of style, where it's always treasure hunting. That's what he did with Donald Duck all the time. So yeah, so this cover is very indicative of Donald Duck's early, especially his earliest adventures, is finding treasure and seeking out jewels and whatever in foreign countries and such. Yeah.
So he was plundering foreign riches like the British Museum.
Yep, exactly.
It's a big duck energy. Yes.
Oh my God. Whew.
Oh, I'm gonna start using that from now on when I talk about Barks Library Edition. All right. Plastic Man. I love that cover that's Jack Cole, right?
That's Jack Cole. Yeah.
Jack Cole. So yeah. God rest his soul.
DC Finest has a lot of great offerings coming up this year, but the one I'm looking forward to the most is Plastic Man because I love the more offbeat stories. Jack Cole was an incredible cartoonist. He could do realism. He went super, super cartoony sometimes too. And Plastic Man is kind of the marriage between the two. It's way more out there, outlandish and funny and cartoony than other stuff that any of the superhero comic publishers were doing at the time, but it also had a great sense of adventure as well. So I've read very few of these issues, but I'm a big fan of Jack Cole. And so I would like to read these stories all in chronological order.
And Jess, do you approve of Plastic Man?
Oh yeah, I have some DC archives of Plastic Man, and I have a book about Jack Cole and Plastic Man. It's kind of he came to kind of a sad ending, but
Yeah.
This is a great book. I'm looking forward to this too. If I don't have it in archives already, DC archives. This is.
I didn't know you kept them. Definitely getting that Plastic Man DC Finest with Carl Barks Ducks. I'm only collecting the box sets. Oh man, I started too late. I did get the box sets of Don Rosa, but with Carl Barks, I was like, I don't want to. And because I started, the problem was, no, I didn't start too late. I started too early. I started when they were coming out. And then about 2 years later, they were like, we're doing box sets. And I was like, damn it. I wish I had known.
Some of the problem with the box sets was that they weren't releasing some of them because they didn't have the second one in the set because they were releasing them out of order. So anyway, the third on my list here is called The Cabbie. And this is a Spanish comic strip. And that's from about 20 years ago or something like that. I think it started about 20 years ago. And it's so the artist in here mimics Chester Gould's Dick Tracy. Like if you look at it, you would swear that this guy was actually the same guy that drew Dick Tracy. And Dick Tracy was published in newspapers, like its heyday was the 1940s. And so this, and it was notable at the time because it was the most violent comic strip in newspapers. It had like, it showed shootings and murders and like that kind of stuff, like it was drawn out, not hidden behind like off panel and that kind of thing. And The Cabbie, because it was done, many decades later, took that concept and kind of pushed it one step further, and it was more brutal than Dick Tracy, who had to follow the adventures of a cab driver who gets involved in mob and that kind of stuff. And the first volume was published by Fantagraphics back in 2011. And there was no follow-up volume. So this collection is now the complete series, never before translated fully in English. So I'm really looking forward to this, to get the whole collection.
This is also Fantagraphics?
Yes, it's also Fantagraphics.
Oh, dude, I'm in. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
good pitch. That's a good pitch, Curtis.
Thanks.
That's a better pitch than underwear pervert. Never.
No, it's a perfect pitch if you are underwear perverts. It's like, well, this is the list for you. Why? Is it just me, or does The Cabbie sound like a porn title? I don't know why.
Wow.
It's always just you, Lars. I'm gonna go ahead.
Lars. Yeah.
Pervert.
Yeah, Lars, you know the damn answer to that already.
Why is the underwear proctologist?
Open your mouth. Is it just me? It's always just you.
Okay, so the fourth book in my selection here is from Cinebook, and they publish English translations of European comics.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's one in their list called Blake and Mortimer, which was a book that was published way back in the 1940s, and starring it is kind of like it's a sci-fi spy thriller, and so it features a scientist and a spy from the British MI5, and they and together they go on adventures. A lot of sometimes time travel, or a lot of different science fiction elements, and there are like, I don't know, 20 or 30 of these little volumes.
That's what I was thinking when I was.
And it's
I thought it was Tintin as well.
It was originally published in Tintin magazine. It was one of the stories that was serialized in that one. So it's one of the earliest Franco-Belgian comics alongside Tintin. So it helped define that style of comic.
There's dozens of us. Dozens of us. Sorry about that, Joe.
I missed something when I was not a part of the live stream earlier.
You really didn't miss.
You did.
Just
Anyway, so Cinebook is now publishing new Omnibus editions, which is collecting 3 of the albums in one volume. So one album one typical European album is about 64 pages or so, and they're bigger than a typical American comic book. And so these new editions are going to have, there's like 3-in-1 editions, starting from the beginning, publishing them in chronological order, which they've never done in American editions before. So this is really good.
And that is Cinebooks. Cinebooks are also the ones that did the City of a Thousand.
Yeah, Valerian and Laurel.
Valerian, yeah.
Cinebooks
They were doing
has done a ton of
Lucky
stuff.
Luke. They were doing Lucky Luke hardcovers, but I think they discontinued those.
Yeah.
The one I'm very jealous on your list, and you know I am so petty, and why I didn't get it, Curtis, and you probably can guess why I didn't get them, because I missed out on the hardcovers, and I know they're coming out in trade paperback, and that is such a petty reason. But oh man, I'm so jealous because I think you've got the hardcovers, don't you?
No, I didn't go for the hard. Man, the hardcovers were super expensive, but
so poor, Curtis.
Yeah.
You're like Canadian poor.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm Canadian poor, because the exchange rate makes everything so much more expensive. But so the Trigon Empire, that's what you're talking about here, is my last pick.
Oh man,
I was just reading about the Trigon Empire.
This book is so great, and it's another
in comic book format, Lars?
Yes.
It's another European comic that's from about the 60s. It started in the 60s, ran through to the 80s, and this is volume 6 that's coming out here. And by this point, all of the original creators have stepped off. In fact, I think this is the last volume that the original writer has stories in. But the premise of this book is it's a future story, or sorry, it's a sci-fi story of another planet where it's future technology but mixed with the Roman Empire. And so you have all these people in kind of like traditional Roman looking costumes and such, but they're flying spaceships and shooting laser guns and such. And we have a one guy who's trying to be a benevolent ruler of this planet and fending off the other planets that are coming to try and conquer them, but then also the evil people in his own planet who are trying to overthrow his empire so that they can take over and then go out and conquer other planets. So it has a lot of that kind of storytelling. Every page is fully painted. It's not a traditional like line art with watercolor inks or anything like that. It's fully painted artwork the whole way through, and it's absolutely beautiful. Story's compelling, and it's just a lot of fun. So, and it's published by this new edition is published by Rebellion.
Yeah, and I have been trying to get those guys at Rebellion, who some of them I consider friends, to reprint the hardcovers, and they were like, "I don't think there's enough demand." Oh man. Yeah, this is one, I think I'm going to break down and end up getting them to the soft covers.
Are they still in print? Because I have like the first 3 or 4, and I think some of them might be out of print already.
The trades or the soft or the hardcovers?
I was thinking the trades. Are they all still in print, Curtis?
I am not sure if they're all still in print or not. The hardcovers were exclusive through their website only, direct to consumer. They weren't available on the retailer level. And those ones were extremely limited. They did a very small print run of them. But the rest of the volumes, the soft covers, went wide retail. And I don't know if...
Warren, who works for comicreleases.com, says, yes, they're still in print.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He just took your job.
We only have 2 employees.
All I did was go to Barnes & Noble, and I did John's job. Look at that.
Okay, that's good to know.
This is a solid list, Curtis.
Yes, Curtis, thank you for bringing some respectability to the
this is
like, they're all really good. There. Highly recommended. All 5 of these.
All right, and we looked at.
Thank you, James.
Who's this? Dom, this is you, right?
I think that's me. Yes.
Yeah, talk to me about your list, baby. Look at
that. Nice. Right. Good list.
So a couple of these I have read, and a couple of these I haven't read, but I will go down the list and put out why I decided to put them in my top 5. The first one should be pretty standard, I think, for most people in terms of if you want great team dynamics, if you want high stakes, and actually having, hey, like if we put if we put something in your head, if we put something in your body, if you don't do the thing that you're supposed to do, we're going to cut you off. But the actual one reason to why I delved into Suicide Squad 4 years ago was because someone told me, hey, John Ostrander did some really cool stuff with Barbara Gordon, so you should go check it out. And that in itself became sort of a gateway for me to understand why these characters operated the way they did. And on top of that, like, great supplemental reading before I watched James Gunn's Suicide Squad in 2021. I feel like this has been something that people have been wanting for the last like 8 years. And I'm really, really happy that DC is finally being able to put it not only just in oversize, but also for DC finest collectors like Curtis, me, and others as well. So I'm very happy that DC is printing that out. I had to put one DC finest on here just like
Dom, to go back to your Suicide Squad. One very important thing to note in Suicide Squad, in case you have the trade paperbacks that came out a few years ago, this has a completely different mapping than the trade paperbacks.
Yep.
This, if you look here, I can't really see because this is at the corner of my screen here. There's not much Suicide Squad collected in here. It's like issues 1 through 18.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not a lot for an omnibus. How much is this one? I think it's 150 or 125. That's not a lot of issues, but the thing is, there's so much setup, including their first appearance, and they're just not putting their first appearance in here. They're actually putting all of Legends, I thought, in here, weren't they? Oh, there it says and.
Yeah, the Legends is in there. It just got cut off.
That's crazy. Like, it's got a completely different mapping than those trade paperbacks.
So
Legends
if
is gonna
we
be
have
in the DC finest as well.
if we have the trades,
Awesome. Burn them, Jess, and buy Suicide Squad Omnibus.
Well, yeah, I have all the trades. It's like kind of spitting.
Lars,
yeah,
do the American thing and take those and burn them right in front of Jess. And
we gotta bring the root beers back, Jess.
yeah.
why would Jess care if I burned my comics?
Burn your copies in front of me.
he's gonna drown his in root beer and buy
No,
this
I would
omnibus.
never do that to these
Oh,
books.
dude, if you drown yours in root beer and buy the omnibus on the same stream, you know how many hits, how many views you would have, Jess?
Yeah, okay.
Let
me write. I'll write that idea down right now.
I give you gold, my friend. Yeah, I'm a fan of this mapping. No, I mean it's up to you. I mean, you get the Suicide Squad in those trade paperbacks. Buy the Legends trade paperback and you're set. But this has everything, and the way they've been doing Omnis, like Hitman, I think Hitman is beautifully mapped with the like, and I understand why they did it, with the big exception of putting his first appearances all the way in the back. I don't agree with that. I understand why they did it, but I don't agree with that. But they've been killing it with the mappings on their Omnis, and I can only imagine what they're going to do with this. So I'm excited for this one.
I hope everybody else is too.
Is there a Legion Quest reprint? Is that a question or statement? Might as well just wait for Blue and Gold Volume 3, like Peter and I mapped. Metamorpho. You're speaking.
Yes. So continuing on with my list, I had to add a DC Finest in here earlier to better represent, well, the growing fruitions of my collection. But alas, this is my most hype one out of the bunch, because my only exposure to Metamorpho before Al Ewing wrote or started his own Metamorpho series with Steve Lieber was the 2003 Outsiders run with Judd Winnick. And I want more of that. I want to be able to see, like, okay, who is Rex Mason? Why does Simon Stagg care about him so much? What is his backstory? Can I read the traveling adventurer who gets stuck into the... I can't wait to read all of this. And you got Radar 2, if I'm not mistaken, by Bob Haney, Ramona Fradden, and Sal, I cannot say his last name, Sal something. But this is one that I've been looking forward to a long time, because I'm getting to see all of his team ups in Brave and the Bold, of course, his own series, and the Weird Mishaps. This has been a big one for me as far as getting it off the checklist. So super happy that DC is putting this out in DC Finest Collection. Transformers Compendium 1 is one that I have been anticipating for a long time, since somebody found out it was going to be published on Amazon. I got a big Transformers itch because of the Transformers 1 movie. and I loved it so much. And I was like, man, what Transformers comics out there are published that aren't by Daniel Warren Johnson? I've never read the original series. I'm going into it blind, but I know from people like how big it was. Like my uncle loved this series when he read it back in the Philippines. So yeah, so this is something that I cannot wait to delve into. Compendium or not, I'm definitely going to get it regardless.
Jess, do you think between you, Lars, and Tina, you can name all those characters on the front cover?
Of course. Well, on the Transformers cover?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
a gimme.
thought you meant the Metamorpho cover.
Optimus Prime, Grimlock, Prowl, Starscream, and Bumblebee, and I can't quite see all of them is the problem.
Unicron, don't forget Unicron.
And Unicron, and that's it.
That's Cybertron.
Oh, and then possibly Thundercracker at the top of the
That's
page.
about
That is, I take back everything I said about the underwear pervert.
I know my Transformer. For God,
think
I was in theaters when Transformers the movie came out, and everyone died. Yeah.
Not everyone. Grimlock and Bumblebee.
No, yeah, not everyone died. No, that's true. Yeah.
I see.
Tom, have you seen the original one?
The original animated movie, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I love that movie.
You know, Jess and I bonded over the music of the Transformers.
Did you now?
Yeah, dude. I didn't know he had good taste in music until I went to his house and he had a box to throw away. And in there was a vinyl of Transformers, the animated movie. And I said, Jess, what are you doing with this box? And he's like, oh, dude, that's crappy pop music. What is that? And I was like, it's Transformers, the animated movie. And he's like, yeah, I'm throwing it away. So I took it.
Exactly.
I gave it right to him.
Now I do see the retail price here is $65, so it's a little higher than
It's a compendium.
Well, I know, but the other compendiums I think the G.I. Joe ones were 60, I think. But yeah.
Rob, I don't know. I don't have it around me.
I'd have to go run and get it.
But this is 1 through 44, meaning they're not going to put the G.I. Joe crossover in there and the Headmasters, which actually too.
I mean, it will of course be interesting to see if they do a Kickstarter because the G.I. Joe Kickstarter seems to have gone over very well.
They have hinted at a Transformers compendium Kickstarter.
They have, but it's not happened yet. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, give it some time.
Yeah,
give it some time. I'm sure it will happen.
You're right.
Really proud of you, Dom, for choosing this as one of your choices. Very
I had to. I was in such a big Transformers itch after that animated movie came out last year, one from Paramount. I was just like, I need to read more Transformers. I need to know more than the Bayverse films. I need to just know more. Because that's before this, that was my only exposure to Transformers were the Michael Bay films, unfortunately.
God bless you, and you still want to know more about Transformers.
And I still want to know more about Transformers.
Kids like Transformers? What are you talking about?
The Bayformers? Yeah.
Bayformers.
Those were the only things that were coming out when I was a kid. Like it was literally like 1, 2, 3. You watched it, you try to enjoy it, or whatever semblance of enjoyment you could get.
Omar, real Transformers fans watch the Bayverse. Well, I can't help it now. Bruce sent me the 4K of all those movies, so I do have them in my possession that I can watch.
Yeah. Now, be advised that the Marvel, what's being collected here is the Marvel comics, which are by no means as, well, I say mature as the G.I. Joe series, but the G.I. Joe series feels kind of hard hitting compared to this one.
This had its moments. It was dark.
It has its moments.
He did what he could.
I don't wish to say it was deliberately skewed younger, but that's certainly how it feels.
The Bayformers had decent soundtracks, so there's something.
Yeah, they did. I did like the music in those movies.
It had Megan Fox.
Yeah, it did have Megan Fox.
It had Megan Fox.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. Same.
This guy.
I have not seen the Bayformers films. I'm sure I would hate them. So
I'm pretty sure you would. I get it.
Oh yeah,
Lars.
But,
that was unfortunately my childhood, but ever since then I ventured out because one of my friends is heavily into Transformers and told me there's a lot of other cool stuff on the other side. So that is why I'm very hyped for this book.
Yeah. Still, I think the best is Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. If they would do a hardcover of just Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, I would be there cash in hand day one. Absolutely.
You didn't get the IDW ones? The hardcovers?
No, because they have in there a whole bunch of other crap I don't want. In the hardcovers. in the
Lars,
hardcover.
you gotta have the crap with the good, otherwise you
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No.
That's how he ended up with the crappy pop music.
They're hating on you, man.
Golly, man, you just offended like all Gen X, Jess, with your freaking statements like that. All right, you boomer.
But yeah,
Yeah.
moving on with my list are two. One of these I have read, one of these I haven't. The one I haven't read is Sacrificier's Deluxe hardcover, which was leaked out. Another one leaked out on the Rainforest website that shall not be named. I really love that Rick Remender and all of the imprints at Image are seemingly putting out stuff at every single corner. You want to talk about Ghost Machine and the Massiverse. Rick Remender said, hey, it's time to sort of revitalize the Giant Generator line, re-sign a big contract with Image to put out exclusives. And I have heard nothing but good things about this specific comic with Max Fiumara on art, who was on Amazing Spider-Man and a couple of other series as well. It's like a utopia sort of book, or there is a danger coming to Utopia, 11-issue series, and of course in the big giant size that everybody loves from the Remender line. So very, very hyped to read it. And again, I've heard nothing but good things from people. So this is tops on my list.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too, man. Are they doing Holy Rollers in that fashion too? Deluxe.
Yeah, they're gonna do everything at some point with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dude, you got a Gambit. That thing is expensive. That thing is super expensive.
That's
man.
why I gotta get a Gambit Omni to bring the price.
Yeah, that's how we make Gambit Omni happen. It's like you buy that out of print book. We're getting Caddy tonight. It's because Peter's not here, and we got to fill in for Peter. Sacrificers is great. It's very Remender, and I mean that in the best. Oh, good. That's all I needed to hear. And last but not least is who's that guy?
Okay, so I have a story to tell along with this. So besides getting the confirmation that this was going to be split into two Omnis, they actually downsized this to 624 pages of content. No longer 754 was the original listing, so they cut it to 650, whatever. I read this in singles, and a lot of my other friends did. And while I heard nothing but praise from people amongst the collected edition community who love this run, I felt completely the opposite. I think there were a lot of issues for me personally with the pacing, lack of drama, and some parts where I'm like, okay, this is cool, but could we get back to the story? I have not heard.
That was great.
Yeah, again, like everybody I know in the collected edition community loves this book, but people like me, who read singles, I found it very hard to keep connected with this run, despite the amazing art, by the way, by Bruno Redondo with the amazing colors by Adriana Lucas. Love the storytelling and the art form in there. I just could not connect with the story, but I'm giving this another shot because of the people who have encouraged me to reread it in a long form instead of just waiting it in singles. So this is why it's in my top 5 for the list.
Yeah, I read because as you say, it had a good word of mouth. I read it on DC Infinite, and again, so I read it kind of not all in one go, but nearly all in one go, and maybe that helped. I enjoyed it. I don't feel I need to own it. But you know what? I read it because I don't normally read Nightwing on the whole. It's not something I commit to. And this I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I committed to reading this. Sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I read them in standard size hardcovers. And, to me, Nightwing is a character that became his own during the Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel era of DC Comics, like during Nightfall, right? I started a hashtag movement when that Rick Grayson crap was coming around us. Then my hashtag movement was hashtag Forever Dick. I got the wrong following though, so I had to take
I bet.
Yeah.
Yes. I can see how
that was a mistake. I shouldn't have worn that shirt either.
No, don't wear that shirt for 2 minutes.
Really. Anyway, Nightwing by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo is to me damn stellar. I loved it. I love the mystery. I like the fact that he's back in Bloodhaven, and we introduced some new elements and new characters to his story. He's rolling solo again. He's got a little money now. He's new rich. Let's just say that. I don't want to spoil why he's new rich.
Yeah. He's got a great dog named Bitewing.
Yeah, Bitewing is a big selling point.
The storyline with the mayor of Bloodhaven I thought was really strong. And what was
I dig it. To me, somebody was asking, can you go into this without reading?
Oh, yeah, it's a very incredibly reader friendly run. Like I have heard nothing but like I talk with my comic shop and we're trying to see like how numbers are as far as like getting people in and concerned. People have been buying this series in droves. Like I am super happy. Yeah. Like it is connecting with people on that emotional level, like from top down. Like I'm super happy for that.
That's a team up.
Team up. Everyone was asking for.
That's a comic right there.
Oh gosh. But yes, for Haley, for the new mayor, for oh my gosh, everything back. I will reread this, make a video on it, explaining. Maybe do I love it more? Do I hate what is going to be the outcome for me on that? But because of people like you, Omar, and other people who have told me I still love it, I'm going to reread it for y'all.
Oh, you don't have to do it for me, Dom. I got other things you need to read on the channel.
That's also true.
I mean, it absolutely was readable, and like I say, I don't normally read Nightwing.
Absolutely readable.
No, that's a compliment. I mean,
you don't read Nightwing.
Not regularly, no.
Really?
I hadn't read Nightwing in years and years and years until word of mouth convinced me to read this one. Mm-hmm. I don't follow Nightwing.
Yeah, Nightwing's had some rough runs, and
yeah, well, exactly. And you can't read everything. I mean, do you know how much they're putting out these days? You can't read everything. I do recall being a bit irritated in here. Occasionally, I felt like if he got into a tight spot, he would just call the Teen Titans and they would bail him out. It's like, well, yeah, if you have a very powerful superhero team on your side, you can solve some problems. I was more curious to see how he would solve the problem. But no, I mean, it was a very good run. It was a very good run.
Tom Taylor's run is the only time I've ever had Nightwing.
As you say, there's been a lot of forgettable Nightwing over the years. Yeah.
If it makes you any happier, phenomenal AC Justice League by Scott Snyder and James Tynion Omnibus Volume 1 is like 732 pages for 125. So pick and choose.
Yeah.
This one Eisner's as well.
Well, yeah, but Crisis is super huge.
Multiple years, by the way. I will add multiple years.
Black Panther by Hudlin.
I thought about it.
That's coming soon. Delayed until
March.
March.
Pushed back though. It keeps getting delayed.
All right, and last but certainly not least is my choices. Daredevil by Innocenti and John Romita Jr. That's been on my poll list every year for like 6-7 years that I've been doing my most wanted Marvel Omnis and then DC Omnis. But DC is firing on all cylinders this year too, except no Man of Steel. Not yet, anyway. This is collecting the first part of her run and including the Punisher crossover. And the John Romita Jr. cover is the one for me. I love that cover with Typhoid Mary. Lazarus, the fourth collection. Oh my gosh. I have been waiting for this book for years, and it is finally coming out. I love the world building that Greg Rucka was doing in that first 2 volumes. Oh, dude, I love this book.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's going to be a total of 5 of these.
There's 5. He already confirmed it on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Did he finish the series? I'm trying to recall.
He's finishing the series.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Okay. Greg Rucka's always good.
This is a great choice. I didn't even see it, or I would have picked it too. I've been waiting forever for this too. This is such a great book.
I think I checked the first few volumes out from the library. So I'm behind.
Dude, pick up I think isn't there a compendium, Dom?
For Lazarus? No.
Lazarus? Okay, I'm gonna call.
It's just the hardcover.
I'm gonna give Greg a call and tell him to make a compendium. Can we pretend this is wow? Aria, really? Yeah. Ouch. Blue Book. Oh my gosh, Blue Book is stories that I have known about for years, but I still love to see them in different formats, whether it's movies or when I drive, because my wife hates driving. Like when I go and see Jess, who lives about 12 hours away from us, this is the kind of creepy stuff I put on the background. It's like podcast. and like
Nice.
stuff about aliens and monsters. Look at Lars shaking his head. Like,
Oh,
that
this
because-
book is so good.
when
I
you-
didn't know it was coming out in a library edition. These two
you
books
buy
are
both of the trade
awesome.
paperbacks?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, you did that, Jess. Yeah.
When you go see Jess, you just want to get in the mood with creepiness. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the first story is the one that I think every UFO enthusiast knows about, right? It's about the couple that were traveling. I think it was it in Canada? Like they were going to Canada and then coming back, and they got abducted by aliens, right? Like that's the first story, and
Yeah.
later
Bill
on
and
they find
Betty-
out.
Bill
Go
and
ahead.
Betty- I'm sorry. Is it Bill and Betty Barnes or it was?
I
It's
think
a pretty
you're right. It's every time you watch a UFO show, they're on there.
Yeah, and
Well-
the YouTube. Are you going to talk about the YouTube audio that they have of the hypnosis sessions?
Oh, those are the kind of things that I've listened to.
Oh,
right?
that's
It's
the thing that sells you on this first one, 1961.
Yeah, they're creepy, man.
They're
like if you listen to
Terrifying.
them. This is James Tynion and Michael Avon Obing. Obing, of course, has worked with Brian Michael Bendis on Powers, has written several books himself. But I think Tynion loves these conspiracy or UFO type of stories because he himself has seen strange things out there. And I know I've talked about it and shared it on my channel before that I've seen a UFO when I lived in Peru. So ever since then, I've been just, I have wanted to know more and more about what's out there. And there's a continuing series and a spin-off series too of this. And the spin-off series has me excited because it's like about the White Goblins of Kentucky. Yo,
Oh,
Kentucky represent, baby.
There's where.
Kentucky represent. But the library edition is the first 2 volumes, $49.99. I'm super excited for that. It's Dark Horse. And yes, Blue Book is the cliff notes for the events. Thank you, James. And then the Shade, the Changing Man. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
How? What? How? DC? What? I have been asking for this book. This is another one that I'm like, no way in hell. I think the last time I did my list, I'm like, well, I'm just going to put this on a compendium because there's no way they're ever going to give us an omnibus. of
Yeah,
this.
I mean, it isn't out yet, but they could-
Don't you jinx it,
I know,
Lars.
I know. In fact, I think it was supposed to be on February, but then they bumped it to.
They bumped it twice.
July. Yeah.
So it looks like
That's it.
July. As long as it's still coming and it's still in the catalog.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
I don't
know.
want to see that date change to like 2045 or 2055. That's never
yeah,
gonna get-
that's the or 2062. That's the kiss of
But
death.
this is just such an obscure, wonderful little corner of the Vertigo universe that has been untapped. Like, I think did they ever finish collecting it in trade paperbacks?
No. They did three trade paperbacks and that was it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good, so underrated.
It is now. Of course, it's very odd mapping because this is issue 1 to 50.
Yeah, so I
And
wonder what the
which I understand
second-
why, because a lot of people. I mean, the bulk of the story is issue 1 to 50. 50 is a turning point. Some people think that the story effectively ends there. There's not that much shade to collect after this, which makes me worry that they're not planning on doing a volume 2. They don't think this one will sell well enough.
And I mean, they might not. I don't know.
But yeah, because what is going to go into number 2? Like 20 issues, and that's it. It'll be very skinny.
Yeah, I have a feeling this might just be changed into Shade the Changing Man by Peter Milligan and Chris Bachelot. Yeah. Regardless, I'm super excited for it. It's finally
But
coming out.
if you can get these 50 issues, it's pretty great.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like it's such a weird and trippy story about this alien being that comes to Earth and like takes the shape of this like murderer, right?
Yeah.
Who has just murdered the lead character's parents.
Yes. And
her
then
and the alien become friends, even though he looks like the guy that killed like her mom and dad.
Yes. Exactly.
It's dark and it's freaking awesome. I love this book.
It really is bizarre. And like miles away from the Steve Ditko series because it was created by Steve Ditko. But yeah.
Yeah. And then last but not least is Spectacular Spider-Man by J.M. DeMatteis and Art Albusema. Yeah, very excited for this one. I have been asking for this one for years, and then when I finally got to announce it, a couple days before my video went live, I had J.M. DeMatteis on an interview, and we were talking, and I can't remember what we were talking about. As soon as the interview was over, he was like, "You know, don't you, And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know that there's an omnibus of Spectacular Spider-Man coming, right? He's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I got to announce it. I just haven't released the video yet. He's like, oh my gosh. So it's really coming. I'm like, yeah, let me give you the content. So I told him what's exactly going to be collected in there and stuff. Oh man.
That's so heartwarming.
It was a dream come true to like get to share with him like the stuff that I knew behind the scenes of like what's going to be in there and how it's going to be mapped. So I'm in for that one, man. It's the tail end of the Spectacular Spider-Man run that goes into the Clone Saga. So we have Spectacular 1. Hopefully we'll have a Spectacular 2. It will be double dipping with Roger Stern's Spidey Omni, but I'm all here for it. Hey Omar, are we getting Oh My God is Volume 8 from Dark Horse? I don't know. Did Volume 7 sell well? I know she's wanting them too because she's been collecting them.
Actually, I've got just today 7 arrived at my house.
Yeah, 7 is the last one that they did.
Yeah.
I need to pick up. I told myself I wouldn't double dip 4, 5, and 6. It was all a dream. I used to read Wizard magazine. Yes, Lars single-handedly.
I feel that way too. I look back at my Wizard days as some sort of fugue state. Yeah.
Web of Spider-Man. Next up should be Marvel Team Up. Shade, Ostrander Suicide Squad, Death of Captain Marvel, Doom 2099.
Oh,
I love that you call it Doom instead of Fantastic Four 2099. But yeah, that is the correct answer.
Strike Force Morituri. Good.
Yeah.
Strike Force Morituri. What's wrong with Strike Force Morituri?
Nothing. Again, it's just bizarre that we're getting it.
I just think that
guys, we're living in an era where we're getting Strike Force Morituri. That's awesome.
And like the NAM is coming out, and my God.
Well, I'm happy about the NAM.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Most anticipated NAM, Vagabond, Deluxe line, DD by Nascenti, Spectacular Spider-Man by DiMatteis and Buscema. Although we got it first in Poland, you did, and my friend sent it to you, Omar. Dude, that book is still where did that? Actually, no, I just moved it. No, I still got it. It's right here. I actually took a picture and sent it to David Gabriel. I'm like, you let them beat us to it? This is America. How did they get this? And I remember him saying, we'll make ours bigger. We'll make ours bigger. But this is the one that he sent me. NWA, Norwegians with at. Is that you, Lars?
It must be. It must
Straight
be.
out of Compton.
Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel 2 would be on my list if Omar would ever. I can't confirm
Me
it.
too, always an instigator. You and me both, buddy.
I don't know what's going on. I know that there's a I can't say a word because, well, no, I can tell you. There might be some stuff leaked from a list that went out, and unfortunately that list is wrong because there's some stuff there that they had talked about but they canceled, including the date for this book right there, End Guardians 2 by Brian Michael Bendis. But I promise I will try to get a date for those. They haven't forgotten about it though. Omar, tell Marvel Spectacular Spider-Man Omni needs a full cover. I don't think that's gonna
$150 instead of $125, just like Dark Knight's Death Metal.
Yeah. NAM Omni is first on my list.
Yeah,
is just old enough to have lived through the actual NAM. Oh, that's a compliment, man.
Actually, yes, I am.
Yeah. Jess was a wee lad.
I didn't go to the war, but I watched it.
Geo is upset. We are getting Strike Force before Inhumans. Justice for Geo. Did somebody hurt Geo? Why are we doing Justice for Geo?
Because we think it's ridiculous Strike Force is getting an Omni and not a Jack Kirby creation like Inhumans. It's ridiculous.
Jack Kirby creations Jack Kirby's entire library has gotten Omnis.
Except for Inhumans.
Melanie looks different today.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
No.
At all. Could they insert a foil cover reprint, like a small poster? Huh. Hey, Dom, was the Jonah Hex completely canceled? That's my most anticipated.
Got shifted to a way later date, but that and Venditti Green Lantern wiped off the catalog.
What? Oh,
yeah. But that doesn't really mean that it's going to be canceled.
It's not completely canceled.
We've seen that happen before. Well, we've seen it happen where it is completely canceled. But here lately, it's just been like they are moving things around. So whose list do you all agree with the most?
Oh, is this where we tear each other apart now?
No, that's the wrong.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That would be the Evergreen show.
Oh my God, the turtle, giant turtle man, Jess.
I was gonna say, Dom did not
well,
sell me on Nightwing. I was like, why you put it on your list? You're not sold yourself.
Leave Dom alone. He did a good job psyching it out.
Thank you, Jess, for putting a DC finance in.
Omnibus. We knew who you were talking about, man. Very excited for Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, Volume 1. Surprised it made nobody's list. I'm surprised it didn't make Lars' list. But then again, Lars,
I don't care about Doctor Strange on the whole. I don't know why.
But he put a Doctor Strange in there, and that's all that matters.
That's a great Doctor Strange.
Is the new Teen Titans still showing up on Amazon?
Oh man, no, it's canceled. DC's Lunar and one other website have it's canned, man. I would not. Don't worry about it.
That one's been canceled. Superman, Man of Steel's been canceled. Don't hurt yourself and look at those things. It hurts.
We'll get to it when we get to the next catalog.
Let's see. How long till the reprint poll? Oh man, Peter, myself, and I'm gonna loop Dom in on that. I actually have to meet with them as soon as the announcements go up, and as soon as we look at the DC catalogs, when we can start doing those polls. It's a lot of fun.
Is that March?
Usually around March is when we start doing it. We're starting Image a little bit earlier. Forgot Vendetti Green Lantern was a thing, and it's a solid run though.
Yeah.
Well, the second one is solid. I don't know about the first. I read through that first run when I was a teenager, Omar, and I kid you not, I went, this is so different from my Jeff Johns, and I don't like it. Like, that was 13-year-old Dom saying, I did not enjoy those series. But when Rebirth happened, that was a completely different story. Dom enjoyed Green Lantern again.
13-year-old Dom was going, this isn't as good as it used to be.
Exactly.
Nostalgia for what 10-year-old Dom like. Man of Steel Omnibus needs to happen.
Nostalgia hits you.
I think it will be. Is scan integrity a potential issue for things like Man of Steel, like it was for Impulse? Apparently not. They put 2 issues of Impulse in that Mark Waid Omnibus. It's just about it.
Did they not put out?
It's spending money. Spending money on restoration and scanning is what they're what they don't want.
A lot of money.
Man of Steel, they never got out that final hardcover, did they?
They never.
Deluxe
they did.
Oh, they did. Oh, my mistake. Okay.
Yeah, there were a total 4. They never did the World of Krypton, World of Smallville, and World of Metropolis as a hardcover, but they did everything else. Can we flip the switch so that Dom speaks in the first person again?
This is royal blood coming through. Yeah.
13-year-old Tom was like 5 years ago.
That's true.
It's also true.
Gunsmith Cats is a must. I'm surprised you didn't put it on there.
It was so close. It was like my 6th. It was a hard decision. There were so many re-releases. I didn't want to be all re-releases.
Yo, man, your list is solid though. I agree with
good.
Right?
Climber. You know what? I'm a sucker. Like, I know you're all about Lolitas. Like, so I kind of figured that's why your ass put it there. But
well, yeah, like creepy ass dolls.
Yeah, I ain't that ain't
I had no idea that having a fetish about climbing disaster was a thing. So thank you for educating me.
Yeah,
I don't know if she said it was a fetish. Lars,
if we're talking about fetishes now.
It does bring to mind.
That's the AMA. You gotta hop on the AMA.
Yeah. How do you feel about I think I'm right in saying that one guy won the Darwin Awards because he was up climbing in Japan and live streamed his own. He slipped and fell to his death, and I think it was assessed that if only he dropped his phone, he'd still be alive.
Well, that's happened to so many. Like that happened to a mangaka too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
are you talking about the guy that Crayon Shinjan?
Yeah, he was taking a selfie.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, that was sad.
And he didn't survive the experience.
Well, he was taking a selfie. Like basically,
I thought he was on he was on a a skylift, and his phone fell, and it captured like a image.
Maybe I thought he fell off a cliff. I'll have to relook that up. But yeah,
I feel bad for Dark Horse and the Climber. Is Dark Horse? I thought it was Viz that was printing that one.
I'm pretty sure it was Viz.
Okay.
Dom,
double check.
Dom, who's doing the Climber?
Let me check. I was literally just there not too long ago.
Warren, if you can beat Dom.
I've got for the Climber, Viz Media LLC.
Viz Media.
Yeah. Did he get the pictures before he passed?
Well, yeah, as long as you get a good selfie. I mean, that's what's most important.
Lars, really, God
Too
bless
soon.
Lars.
Too
This is
soon.
why Wizard Magazine was canceled. This is
Yes, 11 years after I left.
this is Curtis's list. Very, very old soul. I like it, man. Lots of good stuff. I'm excited for that duck book too.
You really
he
need to
got
read
me.
that.
He
Curtis, how many
sold
of
me
these
on
came out-
Cabby though.
Cabby and the Adventures of Blake and Mortimer. I think
How many of these came
I
out
think
when you were
Dragon-
alive?
beats out.
Yeah, that looks good.
Oh, Curtis not here. Yeah.
No, Curtis dipped out a while ago.
No, he did.
You lost him with your underwear pervert.
It's true. Yes, I can see why he'd be offended.
Speaking of, this is Lars' list right here. Very patriotic, very doctory.
That's
With
what I
the
do.
Frank Miller DM cover. Are you going to get the Frank Miller DM cover for Marvel Paper?
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
You like the Michael Golden one or the?
Yeah,
Frank Miller?
the one with Spider-Man here. That's
Really?
It stands. It's the one that's always stood out in my mind.
He likes
I think the first time I saw that single issue, that cover just burns itself right in there.
I really like that Captain America cover. That's
the Cap one's really great. I just think that Spider-Man.
He just likes the other one more.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little more patriotic than.
Oh God.
Than
What
Lars.
are you getting for the Fall of the House of X Omni? Which cover are you getting? Are you getting the Brooks one, Nakayama, or
That's a
Lamar?
hard decision because
That is a hard.
I want all of
decision.
them.
I do too. I guess, but they're all good. I guess I would pick Brooks. Yeah. Because you gotta pick something. So
Right. I feel like because I'm gonna. Yeah, standard.
you too, Dom.
Yeah, because I have all of the Mark Brooks DM covers for all of the other OHCs that they did, like House of X, Ten of Swords, Help, and Inferno. Those were all Brooks covers. So this one,
I guess me too. I mainly have picked Brooks. Yeah.
I like that David Nakayama take on. I don't know. This is a hard one. What about you, Jess? Which one you getting?
I can't really see the upper two. There's a Nakayama one though?
yeah, the Nakayama one's on the top left.
Top left.
I tried to make it as big as possible that made sense within the confines of the.
Yeah,
4K
I
space.
get it.
That Nakayama.
I'd love to see that. That would probably be my preference. I definitely want to get this book. All three covers I think are probably extremely strong, and I have the Mark Brooks covers for everything else too.
Brooks is kind of a definitive artist of the age, even though he was really doing covers and not interiors. But
Yeah.
it's his look. It really is. I have one of his giant posters lying about the place. I've just not.
Yeah, me too. Like I got one from Mondo a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, I had to get this. It's got like the Cocoon lettering and everything else. Yeah, the visage. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of those anymore. I remember when they used to sell out of them quick too. What about the McKay Doctor Strange? Which cover? Cleo or Doctor Strange?
It's Alex Ross and Stephanie Hans. They'll get much better.
They're both good.
You're gonna go with the guy that has his PhD or his wife? You look at sexist comment, Tina.
Yeah.
Trying to disparage somebody, Omar. Come on.
I'll probably go with the Clea cover, but they're both good. They're both good.
Yeah, I
like
love that Clea cover.
Yeah, it is
It's a
good.
good one.
I like that.
And she plays a big part in that story.
He does. I mean, it's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange's name is on the title, but he handles Jed McKay handles the
He's so
character
good
really
as-
well.
Yeah, it's great.
I think Pepper LaRaz is the definitive artist for the Krakoa era. And Nakayama is your boy, Jess. Clea all the way. I like that Clea cover. There are 5,000 Alex Ross covers. Definitely want the Hans cover.
50,000, Omar.
That's fair.
50,000. There was an extra zero there.
You are correct, Dom.
Thank you.
I am man enough to admit when someone else is also correct, Tina.
Okay.
X Factor, Todd Knock, or is that Yarden? I think Yarden.
Yeah, David Arden.
Which cover there? Larzo.
Todd. Yeah.
Todd Knock,
Oh.
really? Okay. The
Oh,
classic
I
90s.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, they're both good, but yeah, I'd go with Todd.
I like your list, man. It's a solid list. Dom, I'm really surprised by your list, man. You got something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue,
Yeah, something like that.
right? Borrowed
Yeah,
from
trying to-
comics, blue Nightwing, something old, something new. Look at me. I could write wedding vows.
I'm just trying to diversify my reading as much, even more so than last year. Like every single year, just try to get into something more that I wasn't in the year before.
So out of these, the things that you have not read are Metamorpho, Transformers, and Sacrificers.
You are correct.
Yeah, I like that you're adding things that you want to read because they're like I forget about that too when it comes to making these lists, right? Like I haven't read Lazarus, so I was like, oh, I got to put that in there. I haven't read a single issue of Lazarus Volume 4, so excited for that. But like Nicente's Daredevil and Spectacular Spider-Man, I haven't read Shade in decades. It's been a long time since I've read Shade. I wonder if that still holds up. And Blue Book,
I read some of it recently. It's still weird. I mean, it's
Lars. Can't wait for the Dr. Fate and Dr. Strange by McKay.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, Shade is so weird and off the beaten track. I'm again amazed they put it out because it's not going to appeal to mainstream people. It is odd.
I want that Laras cover, but only if it's a true wraparound. I think a lot of people do, man. Yeah. I don't know. I can find out the design if they.
Yeah, same with the Nakayama one and the Brooks and they're all wraparounds.
They all could be wraparounds, right?
Like
X-Men Blue and Gold, look at the Marvel Universe Master Edition, Volume 2, Spider-Man by David Michelinie and Mark Bagley, Volume 2, or which one? Wizard failed it because they lost.
It's true. Once I left, there was no reason to keep going.
Simon Furman issues of Transformers.
Well, that and also see the thing is the British issues aren't in there. Are they going to do a separate compendium with the British issues? Are we never getting the British issues? Hopefully, if they do a Kickstarter project, they'll accommodate the British somehow.
I will say, after talking to the editors, and I interviewed some for when they were doing the compendium Kickstarter of G.I. Joe. I don't think mapping is the most important thing to them, unfortunately. I don't think they know the difference between Marvel UK and Marvel Transformers. I think they would have to get somebody like James Roberts. Like if ever they announce
they know James Roberts.
They would have to get James Roberts to come in and map it for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. And, and like I said, when people ask me, Omar, what are you going to do when Marvel announces Transformers Omnibus and G.I. Joe Omnibus? I'm like, I'm going to get them because I'm an idiot.
No, again, we've had this.
I love that era.
We've had this discussion before. People need to stop this idea that G.I. Joe and Transformers Omnibuses from Marvel are inevitable. They aren't. And it's silly to think that they are. Maybe, could be one day. But the idea that, what happens when they come out? They may never come out. Let's just be realistic about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm a firm believer in if it's coming out now, it's when I want it. I don't want to think about, I don't know, maybe it might be my age, right? 10 years from now, in case something comes out.
In case something happens to you? Is that what you're saying? No.
Yeah, I was like,
shut it.
How old are you?
So I'm okay with getting the compendium. I've got the trade paperbacks of the IDW era that include everything, including Spider-Man in issue number 3. Which I'm assuming will be in this compendium, that he's not going to be blacked out. So, yeah, it is an interesting era, right? With IP and stuff. Although I was just reading Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, and there is a moment in there where Dum Dum Dugan goes, oh, yes, why don't we just blame it on the blackout like we did with the whole Godzilla affair? And I was like, yeah, Godzilla's still in the Marvel Universe. That's awesome. Somewhere out there.
I just hope for your sake and everybody else's sake who has told me this stuff was good that they're right, because I don't want to be wasting $30-something on a big 1,400-page compendium to be disappointed.
Well, again, weirdo that I am, I always tell people sample things first. Whether you buy a single issue off Kindle or buy a trade paperback off Kindle or go to the library or whatever it is. Don't just spend $100, $125 on an omnibus or something like that. Sample it.
The cool thing about my campus that I go to, we do have a big library where we have a lot of graphic novels,
well, there you go.
Both digital and physical. So
yeah,
Marvel Knights Daredevil Omnibus, man. See, those things might take a while. The Nightwing Compendium is a different run than the Omnibus. Correct. The Omnibus is the Rebirth era and the New Dawn or Dawn of DC era. The compendium is
Infinite Frontier and Dawn of DC, Omar. Get it right.
Rebirth?
Yeah, not Rebirth.
Oh, they're not doing the Rebirth collection?
No, they are.
But that's not what he had on his list.
That's not what I had on my list, though. I had Taylor Nightwing on my list.
Oh, yeah. That's what. Okay, that was Infinite Frontier. I thought that was Dawn of it.
Yeah, Infinite Frontier is Taylor. Rebirth is Seeley to Humphreys to Percy to the Rick Grayson mess.
So this is Eric, who used to work at Mondo. I laid out the
Oh.
text for that Mondo Hoxpox poster. I love the Krakoa stuff we made at that time. Eric, did you see my hidden gems? I was representing that mutant shirt, man. Representing.
What a
Omar's-
wonderful poster, Eric. It's somewhere in the confines.
Yeah, they used to do some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Omar, Stormwatch a must read. Is the compendium worth it, or should I wait for an Omni? Is it must? Did you like the Authority? It's like I think it's good. I like it.
It is good. It is.
It
Yeah.
sets up the Authority. It introduces you to Jenny Sparks and Midnighter and Apollo. So if you like the Authority,
If
absolutely.
you get it, you need to remember to buy Wildcats versus Aliens issue off of eBay
Yeah, no kidding.
because it's not included in there, and
No, it's not.
it's
Or maybe one day there'll be a Aliens Predator versus DC. Who knows?
Maybe.
We live in a weird time right now.
But we certainly do. Yeah, the Authority Omnibus 2 is actually one that's helpful because now I think the Authority after, the Mark Millar era gets very uneven. Very, very uneven. But
I don't even like the Mark Miller era.
Oh no, I can't. No, I can't stand the Mark Miller era. No, I can't. I can't stand it. But at least it's consistent for what it is.
It's got Frank Quietly on artwork. I'll give it that.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. But
Although Steve Orlando's Midnighter was solid, and then King's book
Midnighter.
is good.
Yeah.
Which is better, Nightwing Omni Rebirth or New 52? Tina, what do you?
oof.
Rebirth? I don't know.
Tom Taylor's.
I don't know.
Oh God, this is a tough
I don't
choice
read
because
Nightwing. I don't read DC. I'm sorry.
Wait, you need to get on that. I don't.
Mhm.
Neither one I liked, but if I had to choose one,
I'm
maybe
picking Rebirth 10 out of 10 times. Like, no shade to Kyle Higgins, but the one arc of Seeley's run that I really like was the one where he reunited with Damian to give up some of those Batman and Robin by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly vibes that I enjoyed from the 2009 era of Batman. The other stories were hit and miss for me. I was happy to see him back in blue.
is Rick Grayson the worst Nightwing, or is it only the tip of the iceberg? No, it is not. There was this run by Bruce Jones, who I really love his horror stuff, and I really liked his Incredible Hulk run, but that Nightwing was atrocious. Devin Grayson's run, also awful. She was... Have any of you read Devin Grayson's run on?
Yes, I've read all of. I've read just as much Nightwing as you have, Omar.
Yeah.
So all of it, right?
Yeah.
I think Devin Grayson is up there as like some of the worst Nightwing stories.
I don't recall
But I think Bruce
reading,
Jones is worst.
I don't recall reading all of it, but I don't recall hating it.
Yeah, I think
There was something really weird that Nightwing did after killing a certain character. I'm not going to spoil what or who he killed. But it involves sex, and I was like, "Where is
no?
Well, that's where the run falls.
But not the type of
God.
sex that you
Yeah.
that is invited. Let's just say that.
Well, my virgin ears
It's
are
a
blushing.
really
so.
weird moment in that story, man. It was.
I think I know the one you mean, but that wasn't Devin Grayson, was it?
Yeah, that was Devin Grayson.
Oh, that was Devin Grayson.
Yeah, it was right after Chuck Dixon's run.
Okay.
Even Marv Wolfman's run was
Okay.
pretty bad too. Yeah.
Nightwing, I think, is a character that's hard to get right. Now, the people who get it right, it's sensational, but it's a tricky thing.
The bad Nightwing runs.
Hello, Taurus.
What the?
Make it louder for the corners of the universe.
Man. The tarantula story was basura. You are so right, brother. Devin Grayson is my least favorite. At least Bruce Jones was out there in less than 10. Yes, I
He had
think
the dignity to be shorter.
Dick Grayson got Mark Grayson in Devin Grayson's run.
Yeah.
There's a way of putting it.
The Metamorpho one here, I can't help but be morbidly curious as to what it would sell. Unfortunately, as John Jackson Miller has pointed out recently, our ability to know comic book sales is like something like the worst it's been, since the 1930s or something like that. I mean, the shuffling they've done here, it's like it just made it impossible. The breakup of the diamond monopoly makes it harder to know what stuff is selling. So,
It's
Because data is everywhere, and the data that you see isn't completely comprehensive in any way, shape, or form.
No,
I'm honestly curious how much they're making on that, because these books are 600 something pages and they're $39.99. That overhead can't be that like
That great.
yeah, I don't know. It just
Well,
for a time when Curtis can tell you a lot more because he actually works in the industry. Paper is not cheap, and to put a 600 book out there
true.
at $39.99 is unheard of, considering a lot of these books like Marvel and Skybound, they're like $60 something for 600 pages. Yeah, I saw that Mad Cave, and I knew Vault was going to. It's crazy times, and like I've said many times, like it's the people that are, you know, at the end of the day, it's gonna end up biting a lot of us in the butt. And I hate to say that because we're gonna lose the discounts that we get. No, that's if you live in America, right? If you live in America, we do get some nice discounts from online retailers. If you live overseas, unfortunately, you don't. But here in America, that it will mean less. I mean, you all saw how much like Image is already dropping the discount that they were giving retailers.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be good. It's I don't think there's anything really to celebrate.
No. Well, a couple of things here. It may like something like Metamorpho. It may work in their favor that I would be slightly surprised if they're paying royalties on it. I mean, I would like them to pay royalties. They should be, but they're probably not.
Who's left from that book that's still around?
Well, whether they're alive or not, they should pay their estates. But I think the Silver
Age.
Well,
that depends on the contracts, though, right?
No, I know, and that's the point. Is that the Silver Age stuff? I don't.
Yeah, there were no such things.
No, they really don't. The other thing is, of course, if they would put it out digitally, I mean, infuriatingly, I think with DC Finest, you can't buy digital versions.
You can't buy any digital version of anything that isn't a like thin 6-page, like 6-issue trade paperback, which is something I still find insane.
Absolutely maddening. They're leaving money on the table because I mean, it's anecdotal, but I have a lot of friends who are like, I would buy this stuff if they would put it out digitally, but I'm not buying paper copies of this stuff. I mean, it's a very different market. So yeah, Marvel I think is like, here, buy a digital copy, and DC somehow doesn't.
I think they'll end up catching up. Manga prices went up also. I noticed that too.
Well, buying like Oh My Goddess, like originally it was like $19.99 and now they're 20 something.
Yeah, well,
but that's over a good span of years.
I know is there any more titles that are $9.99 when it comes to manga?
And not unless you find them on sale on Crunchy and they're out of print or something like that.
Not.
Yeah. Well, we have Lars to thank for the fall of Right Stuff. Man, Lars, we have to thank you for a lot of things, dude. Lars really good.
I just
Right Stuff, and Lars advised.
In fact, I was just at his house on Monday night. So yeah.
Yeah, see, Lars knows people, and he advised him to sell Crunchyroll to Crunchyroll.
No, I did not.
No, paper over your face.
Yeah, now we don't get the discounts we used to get, Lars, because of you.
That's why it cost me twice as much for my manga now.
Lars, he got a $20 meal out of that. It's so annoying how you can't get DC compendiums or omnibuses.
Right? No, yeah, it's absolutely maddening. I mean, yeah.
Is Wolverine by Aaron one of the best Wolverine omnis to get?
I think it is good.
I do not. But
I'm not saying it's the best, but I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I don't like it.
I
never liked it. I never liked it. I'm just being honest.
No, sure.
But you know what? Read it for yourself and decide. Lars likes it. Dom, how do you feel about it?
I think it's the best part of his Wolverine stuff. So,
you didn't like Wolverine and the X-Men?
I hated that run.
Really?
You
also didn't like it. I like.
Hold on. I understand that, but how can you hate it?
Lars
I don't think Aaron writes good.
Yeah, that's what I do. I come in, I ruin hobby. No, I like, even if it's not your favorite, I understand, but like.
I think he writes solo characters better than team books. A lot of that book has a lot of stereotypes I don't like in comics or team books in general.
Okay.
So
if you think the Brood are being stereotyped, then I suppose, yeah.
All right. I just got a payment on my PayPal for $11.52 for my Peacock TV LLC class action settlement that some lawyer made a.
Well done.
Some lawyer
made. I got one of those 2 weeks ago, Omar.
Well,
you got one of those too. Oh, man,
dinner's on Omar tonight. You know,
McDonald's is on me tonight, baby.
Already bought it.
Oh, next time then. Why didn't you select Nightfall, Jess?
How dare you?
Tom Taylor's Wolverine Omnibus is the best Wolverine run. You know what?
I love all new Wolverine. That run I will read back and forth.
Yeah, that is a great book.
I will say he made me a fan of Laura, But even so, even much more so, he made me a fan of the Ken. I hated that character. I absolutely hated that character. And I was like, oh, he's actually tolerable. Oh, I might actually like this character now. That's how good that run was. Oh, and Honey Badger.
Oh, Honey Badger's so great.
It's a great. That is a great omnibus. But I got to go with my favorite Wolverine is Omnibus Volume 3. That's absolute top tier Wolverine. Only thing missing from that is probably Weapon X.
It is good.
I love Weapon X. That is my favorite Wolverine story, but I think a lot of people
like Jason Aaron's Wolverine run quite a bit. I think a lot of people really liked his run.
I thought it was worthy. Yeah, I thought it was worthy. Yeah.
Omar, is Larry Hama's run the only? No, I don't. I like Greg Rucka's run on Wolverine. It was
was good. Yeah.
I think. Let me see. Who else did I actually somebody. I like somebody that a lot of people hate, and that is Frank Terry's run. Like a lot of people hate his run, and I get why. I like the obscure characters he used in Weapon X. I like the even more obscure characters he killed off screen in Weapon X, off panel, not off screen. Omar getting that Pokemon card, Happy Meal tonight.
Wait, YouTube. You know what? I need to get on that Saturday morning fan. You just reminded me. I need to get that Rayquaza box. Thank you.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
That's right. I forgot no one here.
No. I know the original ones, but what's this new stuff? I don't know.
Rayquaza, man. Is that a dude?
NBA player?
Wow.
By the way, Omar, someone's made a typo in my header down here. Can you fix that?
Mad Norwegian Press underwear proctologist.
Somebody. I think someone's finger slipped on the keyboard and just.
I didn't write that.
My hands have been in view.
I didn't.
I'm gonna delete that for you kindly, Lars.
Are you just used to saying that a lot? My hands have been in view the whole time.
It looks like it's right.
Oh, Nick, me too. See, I like the Weapon X omnibus, man. I thought it was great, dude. I think it's Quasimodo's dad, Rayquaza. Thoughts on Eric Larson's Wolverine?
I don't think about Eric Larson's Wolverine.
I forgot about it until you just asked.
Yes, I know.
During the Ages of Apocalypse, right? Like during that era.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. Honestly, I feel the same way about Steve Scrooge. People like that one, but I thought Steve Scrooge's Wolverine was just okay too. The proctologist finger slipped.
Oh, always difficult.
That was always on purpose. I think Lars tips big for that to happen. I like Wolverine, but it's definitely C tier. I have a question for Lars, and only for Lars. Ask away, Arjun.
I shudder to think.
This might be the only time. Good evening, NMC. Hope everyone's doing well and excited for some books coming this year.
Yeah.
That's the way to live, man. Thinking ahead.
I think one book that I was excited for, but then I realized I don't need it because I had everything that's coming out custom bound already, so I own it. Is Red Lanterns was going to be the top of my list.
Oh.
Jess,
they added more material into the solicited Omni.
Yeah, it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be perfect, Jess. You need it.
Okay.
All right, Lars.
I might get it then. Anyway.
JLI or JSA if you had to pick one. Also, I love you. Oh,
also, I love you. My God, things are moving so fast here, and we're not even in the same room. I mean, both have tremendous value. I suppose if you put a gun to my head, then I am a JLI true fan. But Jeff John's run on JSA is the favorite thing of mine that he has done. I really like his JSA run. So yeah, both are great, but yeah, JLI, sure.
God bless. I think this is the first time I've ever agreed with Always an Instigator. Larson's is better than Daniel Way. How the hell did Daniel Way get so much work at Marvel in the early 2000s? Is perplexing. Oh, yeah. Would I get that omnibus? Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course you would get it.
It's Wolverine. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Thistlebone is really, really good.
2000 AD.
Yeah, Alana's right. Thistlebone is great. I'm not upgrading. I love Wonder Woman by Rucka, but I'm not upgrading.
Oh man, that was going to be on my list, and I wanted to say something about Taylor and Nightwing instead, so that's why I put it up there.
That was in my top 30 most anticipated books this year.
I love
it's really
that
good.
first run.
It is
Like,
really, really good.
I'm excited for it. It's my favorite Wonder Woman run.
Yeah.
Daniel Way was respectable.
Said no
Oh,
one.
As a person. Then what
high
happened?
praise.
Did something happen? Dude, Tina was fighting hard for Kingdom or Plant or no, she went with Rosen Maiden.
I was like, man, this is hard. Kingdom's coming out.
Finally.
Yeah.
US
Riley was
Kingdom.
going on a lot about Kingdom last night.
It's good.
I think it's his company that's doing it. Like 7 Seas is doing it. Jeffrey Brown's Wolverine bootleg is amazing. It was about a decade before he started his long-running Star Wars kids comics. Dude, I've never read that one. JSA Bot.
JSA
Bot. Daniel Way is respectable, like a high fiber diet needs to poop. That's like a Lars joke. So we're getting more epic announcements in February and DC announcements trickle out over. Yes, DC will be Dom and
they continuously update the catalog at random spots on Tuesdays and Wednesdays or whenever they decide to put it up. Honestly, like it's all spontaneous, but as far as like the catalog is concerned, again, late February, early March is what you're looking for.
And that's when I'll gather my forces so we can do a 4-hour stream to talk about
these. We can do a 4-hour stream and ruin Peter's D&D campaign like the last
D&D campaign like last time. Viz got Kingdom. I thought for some reason it was 7 Seas. Oh, Viz got the money. I know they were holding out on that one.
7 Seas has gotten a lot of good titles, though.
80s X-Men versus Fantastic Four was pretty good also.
It was good. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
What type of pizza are you eating, Nick?
Don't asking the hard-hitting question.
Pizza. Thanks for clarifying. You're very welcome, Matt.
Omar, you skipped over James's comment that was saying.
Lars.
I thought John was in the lead.
All right, here we go. Lars,
I had not totaled them, so thank you for totaling them. I had not realized. Of course you
haven't. Whatever.
Well, you know what I try to do is I try to include on the list kind of populist choices that people I think they'll enjoy or they want to buy. They may not be my taste necessarily, but it's what people want. So I'm just like Caesar. I give people what they want. Yeah.
Tina, thoughts on Rooster Fighter?
It's actually not bad. I actually kind of enjoy it. It feels very much like a 80s fight 'em manga with animals. Does that make sense?
With
chickens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it feels very like I've read this before, but it's just roosters and like hens and stuff.
Oh. Okay, Rooster Fighter. Yeah, it looks ridiculous. I thought of what's it called? Pollo from the Chew comic when I saw Rooster Fighter. I will take my kids this Sunday to go see Dogman. My friend worked on that movie, so I gotta go and see pizza flavored pizza. My wife loves, like, my youngest and my wife would read Dogman over and over, like legit. Cute. It's the comic within the comic, so it's like written by a kid. I don't know if you all know, if you read. I can't imagine any of you reading Captain Underpants, but you know about it.
No. My brother watched that the animated show when he was a kid and was always running in the living room, so I know all the lore.
Okay, but my brother or my friend worked on the movie and he was super excited. I hope it does well for them too. We know how Caesar ended, Lars. Be wary.
Yeah.
March 15th.
Tina, should I watch Lucy's Dungeon? My wife is loving that manga.
Like I was like, Melanie, now that Omar owns the box set, you need to read it. Like, hands down, you need to read that. That is amazing.
It's next really evergreen idea should be George Perez runs, then another evergreen for John Byrne run. His Hulk or next chapter Spuddy should be on no one's list. Well, now you make me want to add it on my list.
Omar will find a way to sell people on the incomplete John Byrne Spider-Man omnibus.
That is a bad omnibus. I had no idea. I think I gave mine away. I did my tour recently and I was like, oh yeah, I gave that omnibus away because I'm hoping one day they'll put it together with Howard Mackey's run. NMC is 13 out of 13.
Thank you, James.
Daniel Way's Wolverine was truly awful, but Jeff Loeb's was an incredibly close second. I hated Wolverine's with every fiber of my being. I'm waking every morning with the hope of seeing breaking news Omni announcements. This week has been drought, but the hope is still there. Maybe Sunday. I got approval by legal, but I got to make sure David is cool with me because one of the covers I'm announcing has already been used, and I like to let them know ahead of time, like, hey, this cover was used for this omnibus, and sometimes they'll change it.
Oh yeah.
I agree, Omar. I think Lehman left money on the table by not spinning off Poyo and something. Right? How did that not happen?
Oh yeah.
I haven't read the follow-up to Chew, so I don't know if it's great or not. But at this moment, I just want to remind everybody to smash that like button. Ted, you just missed the whole thing, man. Rewind.
2 hours of comments.
I promised we were only going to do 2 hours, and I held my word. That's why I said everybody pick their top 5.
Yeah,
So
you
we
started
have-
late.
We have enough time to talk about other things. Have you subscribed to Near Mint Condition? Oh, thank you so much, Elon. And hit that like button too. But before I go, I'm going to let my wonderful co-hosts tell you a little bit about themselves. Not too much information, Lars.
No.
Enough to get people interested.
No.
Above me, OmniDog. Who are you, my friend?
I'm OmniDog, OmniDog's Vault on YouTube. I also have, I appear on Omnibros Live. I can now proudly say that again. And twice a week. Also, I am on Instagram and Blue Sky. I have a Discord. And yeah, it's fun. I like being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here, buddy. I'm waiting on my book to arrive. I think it's just kind of in limbo right now. It was sent to me around that time when we had the ice storm here and we had the fires, and it's just somewhere going around different.
You should get it within the next couple of days, I think.
We will see. Domovax, where can people find you, buddy?
You can, of course, find me on my channel where tomorrow morning I have my monthly show with our very own Curtis Finley from the Epic Marvel Podcast, where we talk about the thick trade paperbacks that they do for DC, just doing a recap of the month, what we think about it, and whether y'all should buy it or not, along with a Q&A, where I'll also be giving away a copy of Batman Year 1, Year 2, and Superman the first superhero trade paperbacks, which was supposed to happen last month, but because of technical difficulties, we pushed it to this month. So I'll be announcing the winners there. Again, you can find that on DomOfX. You can also find me at comicreleases.com, where all the books we talked about, they're already on there on the schedule. So you know when they're coming out, the price, and all the links and everything else. And also on this very channel, where I will be doing a video of this amazing masterpiece.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love this book.
Yeah.
That is all I will give out for now.
It's a classic, man.
Really
And last but not least,
sorry,
You're
Tom's going to be in my show.
Probably least, if we're being honest.
about Tina? I was skipping Lars.
I figured you were gonna do pull
Like
some
4
BS.
comments, Omar. Come on.
All right, Lars, tell people about yourself, and then I'll get to Tina.
Lars Pearson,
Lars,
publisher and editor at Mad Norwegian Press. And you can check out
Underwear
our
proctologist.
underwear proctologist, apparently. Well, look, you got to pay the bill somehow, because God
This
knows
is
publishing
really
doesn't do it.
creepy.
You check us out particular for our Doctor Who guidebooks, which include quite a while back I solicited that our About Time series. We're doing a second edition of the Troughton volume of About Time 2. And you know, this distribution is so weird these days, because it used to be you filed the solicitation information and it would appear like on Amazon for pre-sale in like a week, and now it's like months. And when's it going to go on pre-order? I don't know. Whenever they can get around to it. So yes, second edition of the Troughton volume coming out soon.
Now, last but not least,
All right, I'm Tik Tok Tina. I manage Omar's Near Mint Condition TikTok. You can also find me on most social medias under the username White Cat Cosplay.
no, that's
So,
right.
Blue
Yeah.
Sky. I do have my own TikTok that I never post to, and others like Instagram.
Yes, until TikTok goes away, and then we'll have to find Red Note or some other.
I'm already
nonsense.
on Red Note.
Some other nonsense that you'll have me doing some videos on.
Absolutely.
All right, but that's it for everybody here. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Stay nitty.
Also,
Melody!
my wife just got home from Kempo, so I'm gonna go hang out
Peace
with
and
her.
love. Peace and
Bye,
love.
everybody.